We're here at Abiding Hope today to ask people, why do you worship?
Strength.
Strength.
It gives me strength.
I think it's community. It's being together with people you know, as well as the music and just the community coming together in prayer and in worship.
I feel closer to God. I feel, as Pat said, the community, the music, and it fills me. It refreshes me.
Why do you worship, Terry?
For renewal and fellowship, and I love being able to have communion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that feeds my soul.
Where the gifts of God are free.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's important.
Absolutely.
Why do you worship?
To become closer to God and to be able to commune with others.
Yeah. So it's connection
Right.
Yeah.
Connection to God.
and each other.
Yes.
I like it.
I think mostly it's gratitude. I come mostly to be thankful and then like recharge too. And this gives me something to work on for the next week.
Excellent.
It is a weekly reminder to me who guides my life.
Wow. Why do you worship?
I worship to give back, to praise Him for all He's given to me.
I think it gives me strength and hope, and feeling closer to God helps me feel closer to my family. So love.
So love toward God, connection to God, helps you connect and love others.
Yes.
Wow, that's good.
I think to enrich my faith, to ask for God's blessings, to thank Him for all His blessings, to just enrich my whole spiritual life.
It sort of keeps me centered and keeps me reminding me who's really in charge.
Okay, we're going to sneak up on Paul Schultz, lead servant for resources here at Abiding Hope, to find out why he worships, okay?
I actually worship because it helps me feel a connection to God. It makes it more real, more personal, feels like I can share as well as feel His presence within things.
My mom said I had to go to worship, so I did it.
I worship to feel part of a community and family and just to celebrate Jesus.
I think my life can get really busy and really crowded, and worship to me is a chance to really focus on what's real in my life and really focus on what's important.
I worship because it feeds my soul, it builds my relationship with God, and it helps me to maintain stability in my life.
So now we're going to go down the hallway very quietly, because the master of worship, Glenn Hecox, has recently come out of a 3-month hibernation where during his sleep, he's been dreaming about and contemplating the meaning of worship. Let's see if he'll share some of his wisdom with us. Come on. Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Pastor Doug.
So we're making a video here for our Family Fun Friday, and we're asking random people a couple of questions. We understand you just came out of 3 months of hibernation. Hibernation, where you've been dreaming in your sleep and contemplating the meaning of worship. So our question is, why do you worship?
Why do I worship? I worship as my response to what God's calling me to do, to be. It's who I am. It's my identity.
How does attending worship, participating in worship, affect how you live?
Basically, on Sunday, it gives me sort of a strength of for the next week, and it's what I'm going through. And so often the sermons are right on the spot for me, so I need that. It feeds me.
It continually reminds me that I'm receiving love and that I should be giving love. And it constantly reminds me that I am connected with the rest of the world and God.
How does attending worship affect how you live?
I think it has a big impact. I think that it makes you be accountable for what you do. And I think through the sermons, through the service, you think about all the things that you do in your life, what you're going to do the next week. And if it gives you the strength to maybe try to be a better person.
It makes me a little kinder person,
Yeah.
a little more forgiving, a little more patient.
Excellent.
Yeah, a little more loving, and not to expect anything in return.
Wow.
It helps to keep me grounded. It helps to keep me mindful that there is life here after this life.
I think each sermon has a message for me, something to work on for the next week. Your sermon on forgiveness really worked. Your sermon on materialism really it makes you really think how you are living and to make changes.
And when I go out, I want to look at other people with love and make sure that that's what they see in me, the reflection of love.
I think it keeps me centered, and I really like the sermons because otherwise I have my interpretation, which frequently differs from your interpretation. So
Maybe you don't get something out of a sermon, although I usually do, but also the music and just the other stuff that happens in worship, coming to the table, again, community together. And so it's all those things put together. Then you can go out and live your life, and I think that prepares you for what comes into your life during the week.
And how does worship impact how you live?
I think it impacts the way I live because I try to see those moments throughout my day where God is showing up and asking me to be his heart, hands, and feet.
It affects me in my everyday life. I can always come back to those moments of worship and just remember how I was feeling if times are bad or just celebrate life, really.
I can't leave the house without knowing God's with me. If I do, my day is just all turned upside down. And when my day is turned upside down, it's not a pretty sight. So, but when I have God with me, and I know we are together on this journey, then my life, not that it's perfect all the time, but at least it's sustainable. It helps me to know that I'm not alone, and it brings me great joy and a great love for people and others and relationships.
Oh, it's so important in every aspect of it. It helps me with my relationships. It helps me really focus and get away from all the busyness that life is. And I can get away from that and really look at what I find important and focus on the goals I want to set in life and what that is. And it's usually relationships that I care about.
Worship is how I live. Coming here to worship helps refuel me as who I am to be in the world, who God is sending me out to be. So without it, I'd be lost. Am I supposed to say something funny now?
Well, we were waiting for Wise.
What? Why?